G&D Media presents an unabridged recording of Seeing the How, Transforming What People Do, Not Buy, to Gain Market Advantage, by Alan P. Adamson. Narrated by Alan Carlson. Introduction. One of my favorite parts of my life is heading down to Washington Square toward the NYU Stern School of Business. Once there, I take the elevator up to the 4th floor, where the Berkeley Center for Entrepreneurship is based. For many years now, I've been fortunate enough to be the center's branding person in residence. This means I meet on a regular basis with groups of student entrepreneurs from different schools within the NYU ecosystem, including the Business School, the Engineering School, and the Steinhardt School of Culture, Education, and Human Development. In any given session, I listen to their ideas. Thrown open to the best form of groupthink, these ideas are sharpened, interrogated, and strengthened, and their narratives expounded upon. We talk about how to bring those ideas to life, how to brand them, how to communicate what is different about them, and why people should care. Hearing those fresh ideas emerge from an individual or a group and then working with them to learn how to think, discern, and create is one of life's great pleasures. 4 or 5 years ago, more than a few students of mine encouraged me to listen to an NPR podcast called How I Built This. It wasn't just 1 or 2 of my students telling me, it was a lot of them prodding me to take a listen. When I next had some downtime, I explored the show and its library of episodes. Didn't take long before I was hooked. It was winter break, and it quickly became my routine to start my day with a walk on the beach, headphones on, listening to Guy Raz tell the story of how brands with companies and products that are now everywhere started their journeys, as well as the challenges they faced. Listening to it was a true pleasure. Marketing is where ideas are born. After many pleasurable hours listening to the podcast, it struck me how so many of these new businesses over the last 5 to 10 years found their success not by inventing something new, nor by developing some new technology. They hadn't contrived to bring to this world the newest and best mousetrap. These companies instead looked at what was going on in the marketplace and had seen an opportunity to take what I call an off-the-shelf idea or technology and reconfigure it in a way that would change how people do things. Having grown up in the world where we marketers market the next new thing, with the emphasis on thing, this was a rather revolutionary idea. No more waiting for someone to invent, test, and release something that I, the marketing person, would then shovel out into the world. Marketing people, I realized, really shouldn't be waiting for someone to give them something new to market. The marketing people are the ones in a position to be the idea originators, the concept builders, the ones who put the start in startup. Marketing people understand the marketplace. They understand consumers, and they know what those consumers like and don't like about the way things are going at any given time. At least the good marketing people do. And thus the idea for this book first germinated. I know I leave my students with a lot to think about, in terms of what has worked and not worked in the past, but also about how to be their own best think tank, how to parse and unpack their ideas so they can understand why they may or may not work, and how best to go about putting them into action. But I've learned so much from my students as well. I was left with this kernel of an idea about the new stage of innovation being about someone looking at what has always been done in a certain way and offering a new way to do it. A new experience of what has always been with us. I'm equally grateful for the work Guy Raz does to tell the stories of the companies that shape all of our daily lives, and to do so in a compelling and inspiring way for so many. The idea of innovation being about a change of behavior and not about a shiny new object stayed with me as I guest lectured in Professor Eitan Mueller's entrepreneur class a few weeks after my deep dive into Raz's podcast. After class, Eitan and I caught up over coffee in the courtyard in front of the business school. As we sat there, Eitan mentioned an idea he'd recently had that he wanted to bounce off.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?